Man, I can still remember right before the blizzard of 1996. We were just starting to home in on the sound of what I like to call Stevie Wonder B-sides. You know, like the 70s sound, Marvin, Isley Brothers, all of the Gamble and Huff, Motown. And we used to go get a grub right around the corner from the studio. And I would pull out my tapes and CDs of all the old school stuff, and we would listen to it while we was going to get a grub, waiting for our order. And coming back in the car, sitting out in the parking lot at 444 studio parking lot, and just vibing to these old records and hearing how all the live instrumentation and these incredible producers that I used on my album that Jeff had, they all were young musicians. So it was easy for them to go in after they heard these records and start trying to duplicate some of this stuff. So we would go in and we would try to just, yo, you remember how this Marvin, how this was, and I'm saying, how Stevie hit this, and what kind of rows, what kind of sounds of Wurlitzers, what did he use, and what kind of flange did he use on his voice. So we would we were in there just, experimenting, as up and coming cats. And we put a lot of those old school realms with new school feels. Jeff would hold live sessions all the time down at 444 Studios in the live room. People from around the city, all the dope musicians would come down, and man, they would play for hours and just shed, and we just had a great time, and this was an ongoing thing. And all the incredible producers who you'll come to know on this album throughout these episodes, they were all musicians, like from out of the church. They were young. Most of them were young, coming right out of the church, and they were able to, hear that old stuff and be able to, play it, because they were drummers, and one was a bass player, and they could all play keys. And so unlike today, where you have like AI and auto-tune kind of doing a lot of the dirty work, back then we had to do everything raw, baby. It was like, you had to make it work, just like the old schools, one take Johnny. I think because I was going through a lot personally back then, the only place it could really come out was in the music. So when you hear this record, you're hearing exactly where my life was at that very moment. Tonight, I'm opening the time capsule once again. This is the second song off of the collection. It finally gets a chance to breathe.